At the heart of Jerusalem over 2,000 years ago, a man stood before a crowd, fearlessly and unwavering. His name was Stephen, and his story would ignite a fire in the early church that burns even today. But who was this man, and why would his legacy continue to inspire millions?
So Stephen is the first Christian martyr whose courage and faith undoubtedly have left a great mark in the history of Christianity. So join me as we explore into the journey of the life of St. Stephen.
From his humble beginnings to his tragic yet triumphant death, Stephen's story is one of profound faith, miraculous deeds, and a legacy that transcends time. Stephen's early life remains largely a mystery, with little known about his childhood or family. What we do know is that he was a Hellenistic Jew, meaning he was part of the Jewish diaspora, living outside Israel and influenced by Greek culture. Now, some traditions and scholars believe that Stephen was born into the now modern-day Greece, which is Turkey. But one thing that is very clear about the life of Stephen is that his life took a significant turn when he became a follower of Jesus Christ. He was deeply committed into the teachings of the apostle. That leaves me to ask you the second question. Can you trace any significant difference in your life that an encounter with Jesus Christ have left in your life today? Stephen's dedication to his faith was soon recognized by the apostles. He was chosen as one of the 7 deacons, tasked with ensuring fair distribution of food among the early Christian community, particularly to the widows and the poor. But Stephen was not just a servant. He was a man filled with the Holy Spirit, performing great wonders and signs among the people. His miracles were a testament of his deep faith and the power of God working through him. The ministry of Stephen wasn't just about words, but it was about action. He embodied the message of Christ, showing that faith is not just preached, but it is lived. When you are weighed in a divine scale, how would your faith measure? Stephen's growing influence and his boldness in proclaiming the gospel did not go unnoticed. He soon found himself in conflict with religious leaders of the time. His powerful teachings and miraculous acts stirred both admiration and jealousy. Accused of blaspheming against Moses and God, Stephen was brought before the Sanhedrin, which then was the highest Jewish court. The charges brought against him were serious, and the consequences could be fatal. Stephen stood before the Sanhedrin. The Sanhedrin was a Jewish judicial and legislative body in ancient Israel. Knowing that his life was on the line, he seized the moment and delivered a powerful speech, recounting the history of Israel and calling out the hypocrisy of the leaders. Stephen's speech, as recorded in the Acts of Apostles chapter 7, is one of the most powerful moments in the New Testament. Stephen boldly confronted the religious leaders, accusing them of resisting the Holy Spirit, just as their ancestors has persecuted the prophets. Filled with the Holy Spirit, Stephen gazed into heaven and saw the glory of God, and Jesus standing at the right hand of God. He declared this vision, but it only enraged the crowd further. In the moment of ultimate sacrifice, Stephen
still demonstrated an unflinching commitment to the gospel and his belief in the message of Christ. He was dragged to the city center and stoned to death. Yet, in his final moment, he demonstrated Christ's love. Stephen prayed for his executioners, saying, Lord, do not hold this sin against them.
Stephen's death was not the end. It was rather the beginning of a new chapter in the spread of Christianity. His death was a catalyst that would scatter believers and spread the gospel far and wide. Stephen's legacy is one of unwavering faith, courage in the face of death, and a love that transcends hate. He became the first Christian martyr, and his story has inspired countless believers throughout the century.
Stephen's example is a challenge to you, is a challenge to me. Are we willing to stand firm in our faith as Christians, even when it is so difficult? Are we willing to forgive even when it hurts so much? Remember, the life of Stephen is not just history. It is a call to action. It is a call to you. It is a call to me. It is a call to every believer. It is a call to reassess our life as Christians and know exactly where we stand in this heavenly race.
From churches named in his honor to the countless lives he inspired, St. Stephen's impact continues to be felt today. His story is a reminder that true faith is lived out even in the face of persecution.
The story of Stephen is not just a chapter in history. It is a beacon of hope, a testament of the power of faith. If you have been inspired by his journey, consider living out your faith more boldly, just as Stephen did.
Remember, the story of faith does not end with Stephen. It continues with you. How will you write your chapter?
Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Stephen. If you are touched and inspired by this story, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share the story with your friends, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. And let us know how the life of Stephen have inspired you to live out your faith today.
Until next time, keep your faith strong and your heart open to the lessons of the saints.